What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Yield to Dave Down Canlin. This is episode number 47. This is going to be the last of the lessons I learned series video thing for a little while because I have a bunch of interviews in the pipeline. I'll be doing some other content, other self development topics, and whatnot. And yeah, so basically I'll be taking in all of this learning and stuff after this point, so there isn't really a ton that I'm going to be looking back at, if that makes sense. So we're going to talk about three things really fast. Number one is just putting yourself out there and just making the most of each day. So I've spent 3 summers in Rexburg, full summers. The first one, oh my goodness, it was like ghost town. And it was a ghost town this year too, even more so probably. It's all the craziness. But the thing is, I didn't focus on that. Sometimes when you don't feel comfort and you want to be in a comfortable situation, you'll go to a comfortable activity. So for me, this is video games. Both my first summer in Rexburg and my second summer in Rexburg. This summer in Rexburg, though, I decided to not play any video games, at least all of August, which is pretty much the majority of the break. So now I'm back to playing video games, and it's been really cool. Just how much I was able to get done from not playing video games and different mindsets and different things. Like I get really close to playing, it's like, no, you're not doing that, because that would throw off this beautiful streak of 21 days without playing. So, yeah. But I spent some time floating rivers. I floated the same river 3 times. I just went on some runs. I just tried to put myself out there and spend a lot of time with roommates, do all these different more social things. And that really has led me to having a much better feel for summers in Rexburg. It's like this too can be changed, this too can be manipulated, this too can be a super awesome experience. Both times, my first 2 summers in Rexburg, I was able to get a job towards the tail end, and that really helped me be more busy. But kind of what happened this time is I just kind of had the opportunity to mold my habits, and my sleeping habits and stuff has definitely gotten a lot better just over the last month, which has been really fantastic. And this has just been a really good thing for me, just being able to, put myself out there more and just be outside more, because if you spend all of your time inside, just doing comfort activities, sure, it's great in the moment, but then looking back, you'll realize all the time just kind of disappeared. Unless you're like spending it with other people. But even still, like, you need to be careful how much time you do that, because it can be a real time suck. Think of a vacuum, like, here's all your time, it's gone. So you gotta make the most of it. Number 2 is self-care. Oh my goodness. So I was pushing myself really hard. I had these goals, and I'm still shooting for those goals by the end of the summer. And one of those goals was like to go on a run every Saturday, a 5K every Saturday, and multiple runs throughout the week. And I was able to run a couple 5Ks back home, and I ran 1 or 2 in Rexburg, and then I had this experience when I hurt my foot, and that's been a real blessing. Because I hurt my foot, I had to slow down, had to do more work just at my laptop. And when I say work, I mean just writing different stuff that I hope gets read by somebody, but it's up to me and I guess my team, so to speak, to put it out there. Just a lot of potential stuff. So much potential power, but even like the greatest potential thing still has to be kind of pulled back. Like when you pull back a bow and arrow, that's potential energy. It's like that energy that's like holding it back, and then you still have to let it go for it to do anything. Otherwise, nothing happens. It's just like, woohoo, all this energy, and then nothing happens from it. And yeah, so basically with this self-care, it's made me slow down, because I've had to just, I'll like ice my foot, or warm up my foot, or just do this little towel scrunchy exercise with my foot. And I've really had to just tone it down, like a lot of different things. And that's really been a big blessing. It's gotten me to slow down, think more about myself, and yeah, it's been really good. So I'm very thankful for that and how it's made me to slow down. Even now, my foot still kind of hurts. You know, even from that little activity of running in some shoes that weren't made for running, it's really had some real real consequences, really real consequences. But I'm like, dude, I'll be able to empathize with somebody else better, and that's always a win. And it's just learning, you know, just learning. So pretty cool. And it's definitely a blessing. I haven't like pushed myself super hard. And especially lately, you know, I've tried exercising in the morning before. I find that I don't think that's really for me. You know, I've done that before. And you feel great. But then I tend to just slow down. Whereas the last 5 days to this week, I've gotten up and the first thing I did was I wrote. And whether I was getting up at 11 or today I got up at 4:30, I was gonna write. And that's been super fulfilling because it's something I enjoy, gets me woken up. And lately I've just been waking up with an idea, so I just start writing about it. So it's been great. So self-care, doing those things that will help you out, and basically just prioritizing that. So if you're just if you have a choice between kind of helping yourself do better in the future or just grinding it out, a lot of times it's better just to do the self-care thing. And I've run into a lot of different quotes on self-care, like this one that was like, your brand's only as strong as you are. And that's so true, because like if your commitments and all these different things are hollow, then it's not really going to impact and help a lot of people. So self-care has been a big one. And that's something I've been posting on Instagram a lot too, just different thoughts about self-care. Number 3 is kind of going back to the video games thing, not playing video games, is holding something back. You know, oh my goodness, it's so powerful when you're able to sacrifice something for a long period of time. You know, obviously when I was on my mission trip, I sacrificed video games for 2 years, but doing it now where I could totally do it, you know, like that's had some real impact. So now I really think of video games as a reward. I think of it as something to calm me down, something to have a little bit of fun, hopefully reach out to some people, and it's something to do sparingly. And I've thought about it before in this way, but the thing is, my brain has reacted in this way consistently for a month. And that's pretty powerful if you really think about it. For an entire month, I'd see some video game stuff, because I'd still watch people play video games, you know, but I'd like, oh, I could download this game, and then it's like, but I'm not going to play it. So I finished The Power of Habit today. Super amazing book. Lots of really good stuff. Some kind of stuff in there, but, you know, it just applies to so many different things. It wasn't, like, super bad. It's just, like, yeah. Anyway. Really good book, though, overall. Just a lot of really good stuff in there. Some of the examples are a little weird, but, you know, you get that. Just the principles in there are so powerful and so amazing how it all just kept applying. But basically, one of the main takeaways I got from that book is if you take away the craving, well, if you take away the cue and the craving, and like, if you take away those things, well, if you take away that response, then the habit doesn't really develop. So like, I'd have this cue, I'd get this craving, and then I'd go to play the video game to get the reward. It's like, well, I'm not going to play the video game. So I was like, back to square one. I'd already told plenty of people about it, so there's a lot of social pressure, I guess, for it. And I just really wanted to see if I could do it, and I did it. So there was one time when I was testing a controller out, and this is like August 3rd or 4th. I wanted to see if a controller would work because I was buying another micro USB cord to make it work. It was being really dumb, and that was like 20 minutes. I wasn't even playing the game. The controller was being super dumb. Honestly, made me super frustrated. So, yeah. Anyway, that's the only thing that happened. But that really doesn't count as anything because it wasn't fun or anything. I just wanted to see if it worked before I returned the cord, and I don't know if the cord is broken or what. I think the cord's fine. Just the controller's having some difficulties. So, but that, it is what it is, you know? What was the other thing I was gonna say? Self-care. Hold something back. Yeah, so like habits are tied back to your identity, and that's something that I've been getting a lot from reading James Clear's book. And so for the last month or so, I've practiced the habit of I'm somebody that's willing to put off video games so I can get stuff done that's much more important, much more lasting and valuable over time, like writing or podcasting. Like even today, I was gonna play a video game. It's like, no, I need to podcast first. And so that's what we are doing. So it's a very powerful habit and mindset to get in. So I definitely recommend it, you know, just to hold back something and see what happens, what breaks down, you know, how it breaks down. Yeah, so I definitely don't see it as a central part of my identity. This is super powerful too, because going into September, you know, I've had semesters where I played video games a ton, and it definitely added up and probably made me lose a couple points on different final grades and stuff because I just played a lot and would put that over school sometimes. It's crazy how it happens. You just aren't thinking, you know, and time flies by. So yeah, so those three things, just putting yourself out there, seeking for more experiences outside of the house. Also just focusing on self-care, because I kind of had to. Like but doctor's literally like, okay, it's not like bad, but if you don't fix this, it's going to get a lot worse. You're going to have to just stop and slow down. And I've had to do that. I've had to take a lot less steps. So... And then number 3, of course, you know, choosing something to hold yourself back. And this is a pattern I'm going to do for September. I'm not going to eat any fast food. I still haven't eaten any fast food yet. Might do like a super fun all-you-can-eat thing, like going out to eat, but that's like a fancier place. I mean, like quick fast food stuff. And this, I hope, will get me to cook more. Whereas not playing video games helped me to see myself as a writer and change that script, I guess, I'd ran for myself of like playing video games, I guess, when it was more like when, I don't know, sometimes when it was comfortable. And like, it's great to be comfortable, but it's better to have been uncomfortable before you're comfortable, because then you appreciate the comfortable a little bit more, I think. It's like, I've earned this. That's something I've been telling myself lately. It's like, it's okay, Dallin, you've earned this. That's so powerful. Those are just my quick thoughts from this summer break. It was very interesting. I'm very interested to see how next summer plays out, because every summer has been different. I still don't have a job. I've really just been prioritizing podcasting. I've done 3 or 4 interviews in the last couple weeks. It's been a good time. I'm very thankful for all the guests. You guys will be seeing those starting probably 2 weeks from now. I'll upload the first one. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, and don't forget to follow at the Yield Today with Dallin podcast Instagram. And if you want to join my email list, there's a link for that as well. You can get a copy of my book. And yeah, just follow the podcast for more podcasts, because I really need your guys' help to keep this growing. And we're almost at 1.5K downloads, which is amazing. And I think it was last week, the podcast had 76 downloads in a week, which was mind-blowing to me. So thank you so much for that. Glad the podcast has had value for you, and I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Thank you so much for listening, and don't forget to yield today, and it will be a better tomorrow.